Just going to be recorded now. Okay, so welcome to our Mums and Bubs class. We're going to have a look at essential oils that we can use every day on ourselves and on our babies and young children. If you've got any questions, you can pop them in the chat and I'll have a look at the end and we can have a chat about them as well. So for those of you that may not know me, actually I probably should share my screen. It's going to be a little bit easier for you to see. There we go. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen now. We're starting on our Mums and Bubs class. So those of you that don't know me, my name's Jackie Wills. I'm a wife and a mother of 3 adult children, a son-in-law and a soon-to-be daughter-in-law. My husband and I run 3 businesses in the horticultural, landscaping and arboricultural fields. But personally, my passion is helping and teaching people how to use essential oils and natural products, how to proactively look after themselves and their families. So doTERRA changed my life back in 1996. I've used essential oils for as long as I can remember, but it wasn't till our daughter Talisha was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma in November 96 and had to undergo 6 months of chemotherapy that I seriously started looking for natural ways to support her body through that time. I'd heard about doTERRA before, but was quite happy with the oils that I'd been buying from the health food shop because I pretty much just diffused them in my office. But it wasn't until this situation came and I was looking at them more from a health perspective than just a nice smell that everything changed. I was sent some frankincense from a lady that I met at a business course in Sydney, and she told me to get in and get some research done. And that was probably the turning point for me and what's changed my whole outlook when it comes to essential oils and natural products. So Talisha today is nearly this May, she's 3 years clear of chemo, and she's come out the other side fantastically, still with a smile and a beautiful face, and she's most weekends out dirt bike riding with her father, her husband and her brothers. So now, after going through that, for me it's important to share as much as I can with people and just make people aware of what they're putting on their bodies, especially in this day and age when there's so many plastics and chemicals around everywhere in everything that we use and do. I think it's even more important. So when I looked into it, there's, the question, why doTERRA, why not just an oil you can buy? You can buy them everywhere from the $2 shop all the way through to the supermarket or the health food shop. There is no governing body that regulates essential oils. So anyone can say what they've got in their bottle is 100% pure. Pretty much 99.5% of the oils are adulterated in some form, whether they've had things added to them or with their actual chemical makeups being changed. So they actually might be putting something on that's harmful. A bulk of them are synthetic, so that synthetic oil is still going into your system and into your bloodstream. So doTERRA do 11 different tests. They do third-party testing, and one really big thing for me is that they source the plants where they're natively found. So the chemical makeup and the energetic properties of those plants are so much more potent because of that. And these areas where they source them from, I won't play this now. I'll actually put the link up in the notes in YouTube that I can also send out to you later. But where they source them from, 75% of the countries are third world countries. So what doTERRA do is go back in and give back to those communities. They put in fresh water, they put in schools, they put in medical facilities, whatever it is. The other thing doTERRA give back to is in their Healing Hands projects that they do throughout the world, and also in Days for Girls and Underground Railroad, which helps stop sex trafficking. So they have really, for me, it was a company that I could align myself with, and they had the same sort of principles and the way they did things that I felt comfortable with. The other thing is, because they are so pure, they are completely safe. So they're safe to use from the newborn babies through to elderly grandparents. You still need to be careful because they are so potent and pure. You really need to make sure that, hey Kat, you really need to make sure that you're using smaller amounts at each time and build up from that. That's a very, very important thing. So they are natural because they're from plants, so our bodies can actually process them a whole lot better. And they don't just work on a physical thing of your part of your body, they'll work physically and emotionally as well. They are really effective. Sometimes in a way a little bit more than modern approaches. A modern approach to medicine looks at a symptom and fixing that symptom, whereas an essential oil goes to the root cause and helps look at the root cause of an issue. So it's one of those things that using them is an added toolkit to your own proactive approach to healthcare. This is not saying you don't go to the doctor. Doctors are fantastic and are trained in so many ways that we need them for. But to give your body and yourself the best chance that it can, you can use these things at home. And in a lot of these instances, you can address sort of 80% of issues at home before you need to go to the doctor to get professional care. So current medical approach addresses symptoms generally. If you ever have to take any prescription medication, have a look at what are some of the side effects. Some of them can be really scary. So if there's a way to alleviate or move away from that and take a proactive approach, but be really informed yourself, that's a very important part of it. And essential oils often will get a bad rap that they are too expensive. But realistically, when you think about it, a little 15 ml bottle has 250 drops of essential oil in it. And if you're using 1 to 2 drops at a time, it's going to last you for ages. And how much more affordable is it than if you're sick? If you get sick and the cost of ongoing medical treatment, doing this sort of thing is often going to be cheaper in the long run. But before we start into anything, I want to have a look at safety. Primarily, I'm addressing children, babies and young children here. So here's a list of things that just to be aware of. It's really important that you know what you're putting on your child, whether it's an essential oil or whether it's something you bought in the supermarket. You can't be too careful. Things that are allowed to be put into products in this country are banned in Europe and a lot of other parts of the world. So reading labels to me is massive. Whenever you make up a roller bottle, label it. Put something on it. I've got one here. This is like my little immunity blend. I don't know if you can see that. And you can even use the sticker lids that you get and put them on there just so that you've got on there exactly what's in the bottle. Otherwise, you're going to have a bottle and you don't know what it's for. Really great idea. Remember, citrus oils are photosensitive. So if you're going to use them on a child's skin, even if it's diluted, make sure either the area is completely covered or they're out of the sun altogether, or it's just done at night time, because you don't want them getting burnt. Whenever you make out any of your things up, try and always use glass containers. Sometimes if you've got a nappy bag, you don't want glass in it, you might want to get an aluminium bottle. That's another option as well. Great to keep your oils away from heat, because heating them can reduce the potency of the oil, unless it's a steam distilled oil. So read your labels. If it is, it doesn't matter as much if it gets hot. But in saying that, I would never use one of those candle burner lamps anymore. Always use a water diffuser. So it uses the water to get the air out. I don't know if you can see, I've got one going behind me here. They are really safe, even if a child pulls them over. They might get a little bit wet, but the diffuser will turn off. So that's fine. And be careful of hot oils. When we run through, if there's any ones that are hot, I'll mention it. But again, read the bottles. Clove, oregano, even on guard, because it's got a bit of clove in it, are classed as hot oils. Even on an adult, you don't use them undiluted. So that's just something to look at. Now, how do you use an essential oil? There's 3 primary ways to use essential oils: aromatically, topically, and internally. Now, when you're dealing with young children, I would only use them aromatically and topically. So aromatically is where you put it, you can either put a drop in your hands, rub your hands together and you can breathe them in for yourself, or using them in a diffuser is a great way to introduce your baby or a child to essential oils and have that calming effect for them. If you don't have a diffuser, you can also put them in a little spritzer bottle and add a little tiny squirt of witch hazel. Doesn't need too much, may need like a teaspoon. And that will help the water and the oil combine. Shake it up and you can spray it around the room as well, just to clean the room and the air out. When you're using a diffuser in a baby's room, I would start with 1 to 3 drops of oil. Then you can build on that. I also wouldn't close the door generally, or if you only have 1 or 2 drops, that's fine. But just to be, just to slowly start it off, because you will find it's a very calming way and it really helps, but it's always good to be safe than sorry. Okay, next way you can use it is topically on your babies or your young children. You can add a drop to a carrier oil or a natural moisturizer and then give your baby a massage. Again, these are so pure and potent, less is more. So literally start with 1 drop. When you make your own roller bottles up, I try to look at thinking of their age. So from newborn to 1 would be 1 drop of each oil in a 10 ml bottle. Generally only 2 to 3 oils max to start with. So we'll have a look at some blends a bit later on. A 2-year-old could have 2 drops each, 5-year-old 5 drops, up to, I would normally do 5 drops at the most for kids up to the age of 12. 12 and up, I'd probably look at about 8 drops in a 10 ml roller bottle each. And places where you can generally use them, or primarily they get used, is down the spine and on their soles of their feet and their tummies. They're some of the best ways to use your oils topically. And for mums, you can use them internally as well. So we can use them ourselves. I have little blends made up and I actually put them in veggie caps, which are fantastic, a way of taking them as an extra immune support. You can add it to your water. I've got peppermint in my water bottle just because that's what I like, but lemon's a great alternative, or wild orange or grapefruit. So there's so many options you can use. You can use them in cooking, making lemon bliss balls. Peppermint's great in peppermint balls or any peppermint chocolate. So there's heaps of ways to use it. When you're using it in food, always use a glass, ceramic or stainless steel container though, because especially oils like lemon, they are very cleansing and they all start trying to clean the plastic. So you don't want to be drinking chemicals. So it's really important to use use glass, not plastic. Like I mentioned earlier, when you're using oils on babies and young children, always use a carrier oil or a natural moisturizer. There are so many different carrier oils out there. I prefer using the fractionated coconut oil or MCT oil. You can get the fractionated coconut oil through doTERRA. Basically, it's coconut oil that's had the part taken out that makes it go hard. So it will stay liquid all the time. Almond oil, apricot kernel oil are also great. I would stay away from like olive oil because it's actually quite an oily oil. It doesn't absorb into the skin as quickly and it often has a smell which will take away from the essential oils. And one thing people worry is that if they use a carrier oil, they may lose the benefit of the essential oil. That's actually really incorrect because essential oils are aromatic. So when we put them on our skin or when we breathe them in, a lot of it gets lost into the air. But when you mix it with a carrier oil, the carrier oil encapsulates the essential oil. So the molecules, even though they are going to be diluted and spread across a larger area on the skin, actually absorb through into the skin better because they're being trapped by the carrier oil. So that's just a great little tip. So do not worry about using a carrier oil, and I highly recommend on babies and young children. Now, before I start on pregnancy, I'm just going to touch on fertility. That's another whole area which I wasn't going into today. If that's something you want more information on, reach out to me. I'll put my details below as well, or jump on Facebook and find me under the Oil Hub, and I can have a chat to you about it. I'm going to really try hard to keep on track and look at birth, pregnancy, birth and babies. So wish me luck on that one. Did you know that the average baby is born with about 252 synthetic chemicals in their bloodstream? which is absolutely crazy. So it just highlights how careful we need to be with what we're putting into our bodies, on our skin, makeup, food, hair, in our food. So it's just really good to be aware, because we want to protect our kids. And there is an app, this is completely oils related. It's called the Chemical Maze. I've got it on my phone because I'm one of these label readers for pretty much everything. And a lot of chemicals you see on things, some things you look it up and it's a really big long word, and it actually might be quite fine. It could be like vitamin E oil, but it's just the chemical name for it or something. But oils, but things like triglycerin, triclosan, it's something that's in pretty much every hand sanitizer you can get, probably in every hospital in Australia, but it's banned in Europe because it's so bad for us. It's got hormone disrupting properties in it. There's so many things. So this little app, you can type in the name of something you're reading on a label, and it'll tell you and give you a rating on whether it's something that you really should be steering away from, or it's something that's actually okay. So it's all about being informed and researching. Just be careful, you know, what it is that we're putting into our bodies. Now, before we actually get started on oils, I just thought I'd give you a couple of tips, even though it's been 20 years since I've been pregnant. And I wish I had these oils when I was pregnant, but anyway, it's the way it is. And so I'll just run through a couple of things that I think are really super important. Food, like I said, best thing you can do for yourself is to eat well, not just for while you're pregnant, but also once you've had your baby, because you really need your energy and you need your body working correctly. In that instance, I'd also highly recommend our Lifelong Vitality Pack, because it is filled with vitamins and minerals that you and your baby need. If you're not sure about this, take it to the doctor. We can easily give you the information of what's in it, and you can show them and say, are you happy with me taking it? I know lots of mums that have had it and found it fantastic. Sleep is the next thing. While you're pregnant, get as much sleep as you can. This will change in your third trimester because your body's starting to get yourself ready for being awake at night. So you'll probably find you don't sleep as well. And some of the sleep blends that we go through and oils we talk about will be fantastic for you in this. Exercise. This is a really big one to me. I think it's really important. Our bodies were made to move. And so don't take pregnancy as a time to sit around and not exercise, because more than ever your body needs to move, and I really think it will make a big difference once you go into labour and have your baby. If you're doing something like Pilates or yoga, it is really gentle on the body, but also works all of your body. You don't have to do weights or heavy lifting or anything like that, but continue exercising. And if you aren't currently exercising, even get out and go for a walk. It's just really, really important to exercise and move your body. And mindfulness and meditation. Everything's going to change once the baby comes, whether you like it or not, whether it's your first baby or it's your fifth baby. It does change the daily routine in things, so make sure you still take time to, at some point in the day, to sit quietly, to read or meditate. And we've got some great oils, like some of these ones in our mood management kit, which is shown on the screen there, like Balance or Lavender Peace or Citrus Bliss, that really work well with that sort of thing. So let's look at some oils. I'm actually sort of starting not exactly on a negative, but before I get into it, this is an oil that you actually need to avoid while you're in the early stages of pregnancy. Clary Calm is brilliant, and like they say, it's the best oil for the worst week of the month, but not when you're pregnant, because what it'll try to do is balance your hormones and get everything working normally, and that you definitely don't want. So when you go into labour, it's awesome. It can help rub it on your tummy then. It might really help with cramping and pain and that sort of thing. But until then, only use this one when you're not pregnant. But so that's my one, Clary Calm and Clary Sage, because Clary Sage is the main ingredient in Clary Calm. So just really be careful of that one. So let's start at the beginning. When you're often first pregnant, you can feel unwell. You can feel a little nauseous in the morning. Taking a bottle of lemon, literally taking the lid off and just having a smell might just save you. You'd be actually amazed how quickly this will help. You also might find diffusing it helps. I like adding a bit of peppermint in the diffuser as well as the lemon because it's really uplifting and energizing. Lemon also helps neutralize odors and helps clean the air. It supports a healthy digestive system, so it's also a great one to add to your water, to a cup of tea or food, and you can also put it in a spray bottle to help clean. It's great for getting sticky substances off things, and also it's really handy when seasons change and everyone starts sneezing. Diffusing lemon with peppermint and lavender is also fantastic. So this is a really great all-round oil just to have in your toolkit at home. Peppermint is my favourite oil. I probably go through more bottles of peppermint than I go through any other oil, probably because I drink it in my water every day. It is brilliant for opening up the airways. And I was reading a book when I was preparing for this called Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth and Babies by Stephanie Fritz, who's a licensed midwife. And she recommends using she's got her own morning sickness blend that's got peppermint, cardamom and lavender in it. And she actually just mixes those oils directly in a 5 ml bottle without anything else, and then uses a couple of drops of the combination to help alleviate nausea and morning sickness. So she said that cardamom is apparently fantastic for helping to alleviate nausea. So that's something you could try. If you prefer spearmint, you could switch out the spearmint for peppermint as well. But like with all essential oils, you might find lemon works great for you, or you might find this works great for you. Everybody's slightly different. Our bodies are made up differently, and we've got different metabolisms and different metabolic ways they work. So what sometimes works for one person may not always work for another. But peppermint is one of those oils to always have on hand. Now, digestion, while we're still talking about morning sickness or feeling unwell of a morning when you're first pregnant, this is also a great option to help with just putting on your tummy. You can also put a drop in some water and have that way. And it's also going to be brilliant for your babies, and we will touch on it a little bit later on. But I wanted to make sure I mentioned when you're using it on babies or on their tummy, always rub in a clockwise motion. Never ever rub anti-clockwise, because your intestines go around in a clockwise motion. If you rub anti-clockwise, you could actually do some damage. Well, clog them up a little bit, which would not be good. We've personally found this blend fantastic for those that might get a bit unwell in a car or when we're traveling. Rubbing it on your stomach then also has been fantastic. So this oil has anise, peppermint, ginger, rhizome, caraway seed, coriander, tarragon and fennel in it. So it's just a blend of those oils together. And On Guard, this is an oil I would not be without. I use it all the time. At work at the moment, we have On Guard diffusing, I think hopefully in every office that we have in there. It's our protective blend. So it's got oils in it that will help protect you against environmental threats. It will kill mold spores. It's been known to do that. You can use it in with your cleaning things. We've actually got an amazing On Guard range that has hand soap. You can get laundry liquid. We've got toothpaste. Oh, my brain's gone. And we've got hand sanitizer, which is currently out of stock. But we've got so many things that are created from this one product. Something else that I like doing, like I showed you before, my immunity blend. I use a little blend in a roller bottle. For children, I would use 2 drops of frankincense and On Guard and 1 drop each of the tea tree, oregano and clove. In mine, I actually switch out the arbor vitae for copaiba. So that's it. You have options. There's so many different ways of doing things. And for an adult, you can put 5 to 8 drops in each oil in. I keep this with me, and even when we head into work, even Bart, if he's standing there, he gets it stuck on the back of his neck before he goes in. You do end up smelling a little bit of oregano, but hey, it's worth it, I think. Up to 6 months of age, I would probably diffuse on guard in and around the home more so than putting it on a baby. From 6 months old, I think this blend is fine. Also good to put on children overnight, just to help boost their immune system. So that was a really super brief look at things that while you're pregnant and start with babies. But if there's other things you've got questions about while you're pregnant, please get in touch with me, like I said, and we can discuss it further. So now I'm going to have a look at oils to use directly on babies and how to use them. So frankincense, like I said, was the oil that started my journey with doTERRA. Basically, if I'm in doubt of anything, I'll use frankincense. One thing I've read a number of times, and was also said in this essential oils book, is one thing that this midwife does is put a drop of frankincense on the crown of a baby's head when they're born. Literally on the crown, on the top, and then rub it down the spine as well, which actually helps for grounding and protection and bonding. I obviously didn't do that with my kids because I didn't have it back then, but I would do it if I had it now. I think that would really, the frankincense is one of those things I would highly recommend you to get onto aromaticscience.com or PubMed and type in frankincense essential oil. You will be amazed what this oil can do. I've obviously got to be careful what I say because I don't want to be making any claims. Overall, it can support our body. It can support our immune system. It's made up of a chemical called a sesquiterpene, which is actually able to pass through the blood-brain barrier. So it's actually able to get in and help reduce and support brain inflammation. So it's just one of those pretty amazing oils, and I would highly recommend everybody having frankincense in their kit. Lavender is the next one, which is used so much for babies and young children. Wonderful for calming and soothing. It's very restful. It is brilliant for bites and stings. Now, if you get bitten by a mozzie, I've actually got the lavender touch, so you can get it in a touch form as well, straight from doTERRA. And if you put that on a mozzie bite, it will stop it itching. Hands down every time. It's just brilliant. Also on burns, I actually burnt myself this week when I was cleaning the coffee machine, and it was stinging even though I'd forgotten to put it under water, which I probably should have. So I grabbed my lavender touch, put it on, and then I actually completely forgot about it. So it's one of those things that you really use all the time. Great for any skin issues. It supports skin health. It's a great combination with this next oil, I think, which is wild orange. Now, I love wild orange, not only because it's great for babies, but it's also great for you. It's wonderful and calming and uplifting all at the same time. One thing that's really interesting is that if you have a child that's very highly active, can't sit still, sometimes you might find, people go, oh, lavender, it's really calming, let's use that. Sometimes you may actually find lavender will hype them up. And if that's this issue, what you need to do is try some wild orange. And wild orange can often calm and reduce anxiety in a child that's super active. So which is why I'll often use wild orange and lavender together, especially when they're babies. Anna's on, she'd be able to testify to when her little Titus was a baby. He was probably 2-3 weeks old. He was really unsettled. And so we went over, we made up a blend, and it's pretty much this blend here. But the difference is I didn't actually put frankincense in, I don't think, Anna, but I would actually probably add it now. But we actually did 2 drops each of lavender and wild orange in a 10 ml roller bottle and rolled it on his feet and his tummy, and it really did help settle him so much. So I know Anna uses them all the time now. This is a really wonderful blend, and literally it is 2 drops. It doesn't look like it will do anything when you put it into a roller bottle because it's so small. Balance is the next oil that I think is a must for both mums and babies. It's a great oil to put on your baby's feet as a newborn. You can actually put this directly on their feet. It will help ground and align them as well. And for mums, putting it on your own feet before you get out of bed is fantastic. It will help ground you. It's like going out and sticking your feet in the grass, and getting that grounding effect from being outside. It won't stay greasy because these oils get readily absorbed into your skin. Have it next to your bed and just literally stick a drop on your feet of a morning, and also do the same thing at night if you like. At night you could also add some lavender peats, which we'll have a little look at next. So for a mood blend, I would look at this as a great starting point, and like I said, you can change these up however you like. I probably actually would not use this on a newborn baby, so from about 3 months old this blend would be fine. Using balance, cedarwood and peace, I'd probably use 2 drops of each in some fractionated coconut oil, and just putting it down the spine is just a really great way to ground and calm as well. So I really like this as another option for mood. Lavender Peace is another great option. This is a blend that doTERRA put together. It's got lavender, cedarwood, hoewood, ylang-ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla, and Hawaiian sandalwood. So all very calming, grounding oils. Great to put down the spine of a baby and on their feet, or put a little bit in some fractionated coconut oil and give them a nice little massage. So touch is just so important to use as well. And a sleep blend that is brilliant not only for babies but also for adults. For an adult though, I'd put 2 to 3 drops of each oil, and I would omit frankincense if I was putting it in a diffuser. But lavender, peace, cedarwood and vetiver, those 3, the combination of those 3 work really, really well for calming and for sleep. You could also add a couple of drops of wild orange to it if you liked as well. And if your child is a little older and they're starting to get not sleeping well because they might be having bad dreams or something's unsettling them in the night, try add some juniper berry. That's a really great way to help that. And if you want to make this up as a blend to put on their spine and their feet before bed, that's another option as well. So there's so many different options you can use to help with sleep. Now we're going to look at tea tree oil. I love this oil, and especially because it really shows how things are different from what you can buy in the shops to what you can get through doTERRA. So if you go to the shops and look at tea tree oil, you'll see that it says poison on it for starters, and it can't be used internally. Our tea tree oil is not poisonous. It will not sting. If you've got a child's scraped their knee, got an open wound, this oil won't sting in an open wound because it's got nothing added to it. It is calming. It's great for cuts and bites. When you combine it with basil and lavender and put it around the ear, never ever drop oils in the ear, but if you put it around the outside of the ear, brilliant for for ear issues. Great to put on your fingernails or toenails to keep them looking healthy. But and also I added into my immunity blend that I make up for myself and take internally. So it's quite okay to take that internally. This combination of lavender, frankincense and tea tree is brilliant for any skin issues. This is known as either Skin Help Blend. It's also, some people call it the Owie Blend. You can make it up in a roller bottle, or you might even want to do it in a little spray bottle. So if they've got cuts, scrapes, bruises, any skin issues, you can literally spray it on and it will work a treat. Really help with healing. Also good for babies' bottoms. If you would prefer to make a cream up, here's another great recipe. I'm not sure if you can actually see it all there. Oh, it's not showing me. Oh, there we go. Adding this recipe actually makes quite a bit, so it's probably making a bit over half a cup. So you could, I'm going to show you another chest rub cream in a minute. You can make up one batch, separate it into 2 containers and then add your oils at the end. So it's a really great way to have a cream for babies' bottoms. You don't have to use the shea butter. You can put that in as well. If you don't have it, it works just fine without it, either which way. But lavender, tea tree and frankincense, the three of those oils together are just fantastic for skin, a skin cream. Also making your own body wash. I'm not sure you can see that. You can get pump bottles online. You can get them through, I get them through Oils for Life Australia. You can probably get them through Amazon or eBay. These are brilliant, and you get so easy and cheap to make up your own hand wash and body wash. You can use any oils. You need the smallest amount of castile soap. I put a quarter of the container. It doesn't actually need to be that. I literally put in about, I don't know, an inch. And then I add some fractionated coconut oil. Reason I put that in is just to give that extra bit of moisturizing factor to your soap. Then I add my essential oils. You can do whatever essential oils you like. At the moment, like I said, at home here, all our soaps have got On Guard and lemongrass in them. For if you're wanting to use them on babies or use it as a body wash, you might find these three oils are great, and you might want to use lavender peace instead of the lavender. You can literally do it however you like. And then you just top it up with distilled water. Super easy to do. And it will save you a lot of money. I've thrown this one in because I love it. It's a great moisturizer, really good one for your skin. And it's literally 2 tablespoons of your hard coconut oil, 2 tablespoons of aloe vera gel. Make sure the gel is clear, not green, that it's got chemicals in it. Put it in a blender, whip them together. Then add your lavender, tea tree and frankincense and put it into a container. You may have to scrape it into a container. You do need to keep this one a little bit cooler, because if it gets too warm, being both of these sort of oil style things, it will get too soft and runny. Now, teething. Something that might help with teething is frankincense, lavender and copaiba. You can make up a blend and literally roll it around the jaw each time you're changing the nappy. Keeping consistent with this sort of thing is key. It's not something you just do once and forget about it. Keep doing it consistently. I've even heard of people using a drop of copaiba directly on the gum of where a tooth is really hurting, can help as well. And that is also fine. But even just running straight copaiba and fractionated coconut oil around the jawline may assist as well when it comes to teething. Now, Easy Air. I love Easy Air. It's great for respiratory support. I'll get it out there. It's an excellent natural replacement for any of your vapor rubs. Be really careful if you're using them. I use them on our kids and did not realise the amount of chemicals in it. I'm going to show you how you can make your own, like your own chest rub cream. Really good also for diffusing at night time. So if they're a bit stuffy and you want to help with their breathing, just put that in the diffuser instead. If you're feeling a bit choked up, put some in your hands and breathe it in. So it's got fantastic support options, this oil. So this one here, same top section there, so it's the same base as I was showing before, but putting in Easy Air, eucalyptus and copaiba is a great alternative for your own natural chest rub cream, which you can put on their chest, on their back and on the soles of the feet before bed. You'll be amazed how much fun you actually have making things for yourself as well. Again, like I said earlier, DigestZen's fantastic. And what DigestZen also is good for, on top of digestive issues, it's also been known to help if you've been quite stuffed up in the head and very congested, an extra drop of this to your chest rub might actually help break up that congestion as well. They're very versatile oils. Now, Ice Blue is one you'll probably only use once your kids are a little bit older, or use it for yourself once you're exercising and you've got muscle aches and pains. It's our natural alternative to your deep heats or exercise creams that you can buy in the supermarkets. And again, better because it has no chemicals in it. If as your children are growing, they start getting really achy legs and quite sore there, you could dilute some and rub it on the legs and the soles of their feet, and that will really help with that as well. Now this little ointment, I thought I'd throw in as well. This is awesome to have in your nappy bag. It's one of those little ointments you can put on everything. If you haven't got anything else with you, put some Correct-X on it. You'll be surprised. Cuts, bruises. I was somewhere and I jammed my finger, and a lady that was at a doTERRA thing, and she said, oh, here, put some Correct-X on it, and gave it to me. I'm looking at her thinking, really? That's the last thing I would have thought of putting on, but I put it on and actually took the pain out of my finger. I was actually amazed, because that's not what I was thinking it was used for. But because it's got oils like frankincense and helichrysum and cedarwood and tea tree and lavender and jojoba, and it's got all these oils in it, it actually is a fantastic little product just to keep. I've got them scattered. I've got one in my bag. I've got one in the kitchen. I've got one in my car. Just have them all over the place. So that's a really super, hopefully, yeah, I've got it in 40 minutes, boy. Quick look at essential oils and how you can use them on your babies. If you don't have them already in your home, I'll quickly run through. I'll try and do it in 5 minutes. So to explain how you can get them into your own home. And if you do, but hold on to the end and we can have a chat if you've got any questions. So how you can get them, we have 3 main ways you can get them. One is retail, which I wouldn't recommend. There's no point paying 25% more than you have to. You can buy them wholesale straight up. So you can buy a wholesale account, but it's similar to getting a Costco account. And so that would cost you $35. And then you can buy any of our products for 25% off at wholesale price. Or you can buy a starter kit. Now, our starter kits are a group of oils that doTERRA put together, which include the cost of the wholesale account. So they've waived that price, and they've actually discounted those oils as well. So you can see it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. So I'll have a quick look at some of the kits. This is my all-time favorite because it pretty much covers most of the oils we've covered today and looked at it. It's our Nature's Solution kit. It's a great way to really make a change and start changing your entire household. Has so much in it, you'll be amazed. Our Home Essentials kit's probably our most popular kit. It comes with 10 oils that are in 15 ml size, so they're quite a reasonable size, except for Ice Blue, that only comes in a 5 ml size. And that one's $330 for all 10 oils. Oh, and it also comes with the pedal diffuser, so you can be using that straight away. The Family Essentials is our small bottle kit, so it's the same oils as in the Home Essentials kit, but they're all 5 ml size. So to me personally, I would look at it and think, well, I'm getting 3 times the amount of oil for not quite double the price with the Home Essentials kit. So to me, it's better value for money. But if you're wanting just to get started and think, let's give this a go and see whether it's something I'm really into, this is another great option. A Bedtime Bliss kit is a new enrollment kit, and this is great for new mums, I think, because it covers off on a lot of the oils that we've used and gives you a really good head start, and things you can use practically straight away while you're pregnant and for your newborn baby. I love this kit, and since this one's come as an enrollment kit, I have sold quite a number of them to people because it's just such a practical kit. And the other one, especially at this time of year, is our Seasonal Essentials, and that's got a lot of our oils in it for breathing and respiratory and protection. So what's next? If you would like more information, I'll leave links below on how you can get in touch with me. Otherwise, head to the Oil Hub on Facebook or Instagram, and you can find me there as well. You can, if you see something and I can help you join, we can have a chat, or we can do a Zoom chat, and we can look at further options and find what will suit you best. And otherwise, if somebody else has told you to come and have a look at this webinar, and go back and have a chat to them about it, and they can help you get started as well. So thank you so much. And if you've got any questions, I shall stop recording now if I can figure out how to do that. And I'll go back out of my stopping the share. And thank you so much for coming along.